Wow, I have to go all over again because I was on mute this whole time. Sorry, guys. So again, I was saying my name is Alethea. I go by Rain on the Charts. Thank you for being here. For those of you out there in YouTube land, good evening, good morning, good night, whatever time it is that you'd be checking out my video. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing. For those of you that have not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And yeah, I don't just subscribe, watch my videos. I have lots of videos on there that will teach you. If you don't know anything about trading, there's going to be a few videos on there that can help you. I deal with the foreign exchange market, crypto, stocks and indices, binary options. The charts are the charts, you know. Hi, Joseph. Haven't seen you in a while. And I haven't really been on. I had an emergency last week, guys. So I'm sorry. That's why I didn't live stream last week. And, you know, just life has been happening for the past few months. So I haven't really been, you know, as I have been. But everybody who I'm in touch with has my number, can always reach out to me or message me on social media. So again, today I'm covering uptrends and downtrends. Let me go ahead and start sharing my screen. Okay. While that's loading, let's see. Good evening. Nice to see you as well, Joseph. Haven't spoken to you in a while. All right, this is loading. All right, so you guys should be able to see my screen right now. Joseph, drop a 2 if you can see my screen. All right, no, I can see it here. All right, so right now I'm on GBPUSD. That's the last thing I was trading actually this past Friday. I don't normally trade on a Friday, but there was news on the US dollar that I wanted to take advantage of. So decided to trade and I did pretty good doing that. So the news happened at 8:30. So you see this candle right here. This was 8:30. Let me make that small. Let me move this right here. All right, so this was 8:30. Let me put a line so we can see it. So when it comes to the news, I use this site called forexfactory.com. I'm not going to be able to see the past Friday, but there was a red folder. So let's look to the future, hit more. So we see on Monday, as in tomorrow, there's going to be a red folder on the Australian dollar at 9:30 p.m. I don't trade the Chinese currency. On Tuesday, August 15th at 2 a.m., there's going to be news on the Great Britain pound, red folder. And red folder, guys, is high impact news. So anybody who is trading at that time, you want to be mindful. For somebody who is new to the game, I would say do not trade. If you were trading prior to the time, close out any trades that you're in, right? Do not be in any trades when a red folder news event is taking place. for whatever the currency is. So if it's Great Britain pound at 2 a.m. on Tuesday, and that's Eastern Standard Time, that's for me. That would be 7 a.m. for you, Joseph. I would say don't be trading any Great Britain pound pairs. So does that mean you can't trade? No, it doesn't mean you can't trade. It just means you cannot trade. Well, you shouldn't trade Great Britain pound as a newbie. Everything else is on the table. So if you trade US dollar, Canadian dollar, Australian dollar, whatever, everything else is fine, just no GBP. Right now, when it comes to the US dollar, you see on Tuesday we have red folders at 8:30 a.m. for the US dollar. I would not be trading anything at all at that time, because what I have noticed over the years of trading is that while there may be reason to not trade a particular currency that has the red folder, if it's any of the other currencies, when it's the US dollar, somehow that affects everything. Like US dollar is sovereign, it affects everything. So if there's a red folder on the US dollar, not only am I not trading the US dollar, I'm not trading the Great Britain pound. I'm not trading the Swiss franc. I'm not trading New Zealand dollar. I'm not trading anything. I'm closing my laptop and I'm going to go take a walk, eat something. I'm just not going to be trading. Does that make sense? Do you have that, Joseph? Drop a 1 if you've got that. Right? So, okay, awesome. All right. So I say all that to say at 8:30 on Friday, price had traveled up and then it had traveled to around here. This was 8:15, right? Now at 8:30, we had this huge red candle, but you see these wicks. So let me delete this so you can see the wicks. You see these wicks on either side. So where this wick is, it had gone green. A green candle represents bullish move. A red candle represents bearish, right? So a green candle opens at the bottom and closes at the top. A red candle opens at the top and closes at the bottom. However, if you see wicks, that represents movement that had occurred before things actually closed. Now, when I'm trading the news, I go down to the 5-minute chart. I gotta go find this again. Okay, so here it is. Here it is right here. This was the 8:30 news event. It just like tanked. So this is one thing that I advise people who are not brand new. They have a little bit of skin in the game. And this is something that I've been testing out and it seems to be working for me. That's just me. You know, try it in a demo first. Anytime you want to try something, don't just jump and do it in your live account. Do it in your demo and make sure that you have it, you understand it, it's working before you then go and put it in your live account. So whenever the move happens, because when I see a red folder, I don't know if it's going to go up. I don't know if it's going to go down, right? So I wait on it to move. And when I see it move down, I'm not jumping in yet. I'm still waiting because it didn't just go down. It did a dance, a crazy erratic dance that can have your heartbeat, your heart rate going through the roof. Like you feel like your heart's gonna fall out of your chest if you're in. So it's better to not be in and watch what's happening, for me at least. So I watched it up, down, up, down, up, down. And then when it finally closed, I wait another candle. And then sometimes, depending on how it went, I can either trade, I'm going to say trace. I can either trade the pullback or retracement. So you see there is this green candle here. You could trade that, the pullback, or you can wait for the pullback and then trade the continuation, right? And what I have found too is that most times, wherever things went crazy, price is going to eventually go right back. And what do we see if we look here? Price went all the way back, right? Let's look at this. Let me get my line. Okay. So it came all the way back, respecting price action rules. So this was a floor, right? It broke down, but it came back. The floor became the ceiling. It came back here and then continued down. That's so it came. This was the floor. It broke through. It retested twice, actually. It came here, then it came again and continued down, right? So I find that it typically will retrace all the way back. Even if it did something crazy like that, it will go all the way back. So for those of you who are not scalpers like me, you don't necessarily have to panic. It's a longer game, right? My scalpers trying to get in and out. That's me. I just you can catch a whole bunch of pips in minutes or even seconds when news happens, right? So the topic today is uptrends and downtrends. So Joseph, can you tell me, how do you know when it's an uptrend? Do you know? Can you answer that? Feel free to unmute yourself if you'd like, or you can continue typing in the chat. How do you spot?
Can you hear me? Good evening.
Good evening, I can. How do you spot an uptrend?
Uptrend is high and high low.
Higher highs and higher lows. Perfect. Okay, so let's go to the whiteboard and look at that. Hold on. Higher highs and higher lows for an uptrend. Okay. Move this to the bottom. All right. My drawing skills are going to be on display here. Okay. Okay, so higher low. All right, so let's see what start here. Starting point. And then It's the high. And then what would this be?
Low.
But it's higher low, right? Because it's going to be higher than the starting point. So it's a higher low, right? And then this, what would this be right here? The high is a high low. This would be a
High.
and this would be higher low. Higher low. The uptrend right here. And this will carry on for a while. And it doesn't matter what time frame you look at, you're gonna see it. Higher low, higher highs, just going. But eventually things will change, right? So let's see.
I don't know when. How to sing a favorite artist song? How to sing your favorite artist song? Sometimes. Okay.
This is gonna be the turning point.
Okay. Yeah, right. So no, I don't.
So now, instead of it going higher, it forms a low, right?
Yes.
And then what would this be called right here?
Lower high.
A lower high, right? So lower high. And what would this be down here?
Lower low.
Low,
Lower high.
lower high,
Lower low.
low,
Lower high.
right? And so on and so on, right? So when this happens, that's a reversal. And is this still an uptrend?
No, downtrend.
It's a downtrend, right? So the downtrend is going to have lower highs and lower lows. And equal lower high and lower lows. All right. And that's just how the market moves. Patterns of higher highs and higher lows, lower highs and lower lows. And it's just for people to be able to spot it on whatever the time frame is. And then you can look for your entry based on that. So this pattern right here, they call that a head and shoulder. So this is the head. That's the head, right? And these are the shoulders. So when you see, and this is something that I've never really discussed before, but when you see one shoulder form here and the head, the next shoulder would form if it's kind of equal or somewhere around, similar to this first shoulder to the left, then you know that that's a reversal. So you can look for the trend to be changing, for a trend reversal. Does that make sense? Do you get that?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, awesome. So head and shoulder. So this is one shoulder, this is another shoulder, and this is the head. So that's the head and shoulder pattern. That is one of the things that traders look at to determine when the reversal is going to happen, the head and shoulders pattern. Now, there's also the reverse head and shoulder pattern when it's flipped upside down. And that way, you know, it's going to be reversing from a downtrend to an uptrend. So let's look at trading view. And let's look for some patterns. I mean, not some patterns, not some trends. All right. So we definitely can see a trend right here. All right. What's trend is this?
The downtrend.
A downtrend. Right. It's obvious, you know, it's going from high going down. But when I want to look for the trend, I I can do it with candlesticks, but I like to look at it on the line chart. That way I can really spot the movements, the high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. You know, you can really see it if you're just looking at a line chart. And that's for me personally. No way is wrong. If you want to look at it with the Japanese candles, that is correct. Line chart, that is correct. Hakinashi, it's all fine. You know, it's just a matter of preference. Okay.
Yes, I
So,
think I prefer this one.
pardon me?
I think I like this one. I prefer this one. It's gonna give you the high, and it's obvious.
Yes, exactly. It is so much easier for me to spot what is going on. I can see when it's trending up. I can see when it's trending down. I can see when it's consolidating, right? So if price is going down, I'm not just going to jump into the trade. I am going to try to find an entry point that makes sense for me, right? And let's see. Hey, Michael, how are you doing? Price, oh, we lost him. Okay. Yeah, if price is trending down, you don't want to just jump into the trade. You want to wait for a pullback because, as you know, Joseph, price doesn't just keep going. It's going up and down, which is why you can see lower high, lower low, all of that, right? So I like to look at the market on the 15-minute and on the 1 hour. So in a downtrend, I like to sell the floor, right? So I'm gonna get my horizontal line. I'm going to find the floor. So this is a floor right here, right? That's a downtrend. Do you agree that that is a floor right here? Joseph? Hi, Michael, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Awesome.
It's been a while.
So in a downtrend, I sell the floor, right? I sell the floor of a downtrend. Now, somebody else will phrase it another way, but that's just how I learned it. I sell the floor of a downtrend. I buy the ceiling of an uptrend, right? So this is a floor for me. So I'm gonna look for price to come back to the floor and I will sell at this floor. Does that make sense? Let's pretend that
Yeah.
none of this happened yet. None of that happened yet. And I'm just seeing this. Okay, this is the floor. It broke the floor. I'm going to be waiting to sell at the floor. So this is the floor, right? I need price to break the floor as it has done. I need it to come back to the floor and then I'm going to sell. So I say I sell the floor, but somebody else may say they sell the seed, which it's gonna be the floor of the past is gonna be the ceiling of the present. So someone saying, no, I sell the ceiling, they're not wrong either because the floor becomes the ceiling. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let me. So then this is the floor for me. Floor. Okay. So when we look now, if I go on the candlestick chart, then you can see, then you can put wick into it, right? So here was the wick, and the wick came here basically. So what that means that this is like a zone. Sometimes people miss out on a trade because they're waiting for it to come exactly to an area. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I
because
got you.
on the line, then here's the floor. It never came back up here if I'm just looking at it on the line chart. So Joseph, while I do use the line chart to help me identify what the trend is, I also always Japanese candlesticks too, because the wicks help to tell a story. The wicks are gonna tell me, okay, it came here, because price did come there, you know? So I use that to give me my zone. So if it comes anywhere close to there, I'm getting in. I'm not waiting and, oh, price didn't come exactly to XYZ. No, I'm jumping in because that's why you have a stop loss. You have a stop loss that you can use. All right. So it would be a short position since it was a sell. It would be a short position. So say I entered here, short position, you can put your stop loss about here. I personally, that's why I work on the 5-minute time frame. I do not want any 80 pip stop loss. But and then most people would have their stop loss probably here. And we typically, I do a 50 to 55 pip stop loss for GBP pairs. That's what my stop loss is. But we have to factor in this wick, this gray that we have here. I'm just gonna go ahead and mute some background noise. All right. So yeah, GBP pairs and GJ is what I like to trade most, but I was looking at GU because of the news on the US dollar this past Friday. So GBP pairs, from me studying it extensively, I know that it's around 50 pips for stop loss, 50 pips for take profit. I'm always going for 50 pips for GBP, right? So once you have your stop loss, I'm saying that, okay, if price comes to 1.27946, I will be taken out of the trade. Now, that's why, you get in, it's a zone, because, okay, you get in here, you understand that it could travel up a bit before it continues. But as you can see here, it came, it broke through, it came back, and it respected. Anybody who got in here, they would have been bragging about the perfect entry that they got. But yeah, does anybody have any questions out there on YouTube land too? Because you can definitely type your questions in the chat and I can answer if you have any questions. All right. So yeah. Is that clear for you, Michael? You can unmute yourself or you can type in the chat box. But yeah, so this is when it's a downtrend, I'm looking to sell the floor, right? So here's the floor. So when it comes back up to the floor, I'm selling. Another person is gonna say, I sell the ceiling. Why would they call it the ceiling? Because once price leaves and comes back, the floor now becomes the ceiling. So let me go ahead and label that. This is now the ceiling. Okay, there we go. Floor becomes the ceiling. Okay. And you get in. Now it is 3:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So would I say that I need to be getting into GBP pairs or USD pairs? Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, the market isn't even open yet. The market will open in an hour and 20 minutes. So, okay, here's Joseph again. The market is going to reopen in an hour and 20 minutes. But when that does happen, the session is going to be the Japanese Tokyo session. Tokyo session is what will be starting. So I would be looking at the markets, looking to trade any yen pairs. Anything with the yen is what I would be looking for at that time. A few hours after that, the Australian, the Sydney session would be starting. So it would be a combination of the Tokyo and Australian dollar pairs, yen and the Australian dollar pairs that you can be looking to trade. But also at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I think you need to wait and let the market stretch. It's been sleeping for 2 days. Let it stretch, let it get ready. So around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I don't know what time it is for everyone. You translate, you know, that's when I would say to trade around 9:30 p.m. That's when I've noticed that I see things start moving again if you want to be trading, right? GBP pairs, I get up at around 4 o'clock, 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to trade. And around 8:30, anywhere between 4:30 to 8:30 a.m., I can normally find a nice good move. So I can get what I need to get done from early. And then I can have the rest of the day for myself to do what I do, you know? All right. Does anybody have any questions?
Sorry, I was locked out with the network.
Okay, well, definitely, you can catch the replay, but I'm gonna call you after this, Joseph. I want to talk to you about something. All right. But yeah, so that's the downtrend, right? That's quite obvious here. So if GBPUSD was going down, USD being the second pair, something that has the US dollar as the first currency, we have been going up. So I'm going to look at USD JPY and see USD JPY. Let's see. And you see UJ was going up. That is another thing that you can take note of. When some pairs are going down, the other pairs are going up. So like gold as well, XAU USD. If UJ was going up, gold would have been going down. Let's look and see if that's what happened. That's exactly what happened, right? So if you're ever trading and you're in for UJ for a buy, best believe if you also have GBP USD for a buy, one of them is going to be wrong because it just can't be. You understand what?
No.
Okay, so let me explain. So when you have your currency, you have a base. The first currency is the base. The second one is the quote, right?
Yeah.
So if you have GBP USD, GBP is going to be the base. Hold on, let me pull up my line. 1 second. Uh, oh, all right. So let me go ahead and just and you can unmute yourself if you want to ask a question. So the background noise. Okay, so we're gonna look at GBP USD and USD JPY to explain, right? So let's start with GBP. I'm just going on mute. Have a question, you can unmute yourself, please. Thanks. So GBP is going to be the base. All right, hold on. GBP equals the base and then USD equals the quote, right? Currency one is the base, currency two is the quote. Now, let's look at USD JPY. USD What would USD be, Joseph or Michael? Is USD the base or the quote?
USD is the best.
USD is the base.
Okay, so
It's like
USD the base. Perfect. And then
JPY is the
JPY
quote.
is the quote.
perfect. All right. So the first currency, if that one is stronger to say stronger, if that one is stronger, if the base is stronger than the quote, are we going to be looking for buys or sells?
If
Making
the
compare.
base is stronger
Right.
than the quote, we look for buys.
So Joseph, you said if the base is stronger than the quote, we look for buys. All right, I write that. Base stronger than quote equals buy. So if the quote is stronger, what would we look for?
For a sell.
Okay. So if the base is stronger, we look for a buy. If the quote is stronger, we look for a sell. So then I would be using livechart.co.uk to determine currency strength. So that's for the first currency pair, GBPUSD. So if the Great Britain pound is strong, the US dollar is weak, I'm gonna look for buys. But then I want to look at the strength of the US dollar. So I would also look at the DXY, right? So the DXY, okay, there we go. So the DXY, this is just going to tell me the strength of the US dollar, right? DXY is right here.
We are on uptrend. Strong.
The US dollar is strong. So if US dollar is strong, anything that starts with the US dollar, we're going to buy. But anything that ends with the US dollar, we're going to sell because the US dollar is strong. You get that?
Yes.
All right. So
But I have a question.
mhm.
In this uptrend now, we are trending up. But looking at the trend, you can still see downtrend in this uptrend. So like this leg now, there is downtrend before the uptrend. So my question is, we are looking to buy, and then as well we can sell.
It was weak. So this is the 4-hour chart. So this is July 6th all the way to July 23rd. US dollar was weak. July, it was weak. And then at the end of July, it started getting strong again, right? And the US dollar got back strong. Right now we're in August, right? The US
Okay.
dollar has gained some strength. So once the US dollar is strong, any currency pairs that start with the US dollar, you want to look to buy that. So USD JPY, USD CAD, USD Chef, anything that starts with the US dollar. US dollar is strong, so you want to buy it. Anything that ends with the US dollar, you're going to want to sell it. So NZD USD, GBP USD. I can't think of another thing that ends with the US dollar right off the top of my head. So
Uh,
NU, EU, you want to sell those.
okay.
So that's why I could say, okay, if GU is a buy and the US dollar is second, then I would say UJ is gonna be sell or the reverse. You get what I'm see? Do you understand now?
Yes.
It's based on where the US dollar falls in the pair. And so there's the DXY, there's they have the index that you can look at for every currency. You can look at it for each one. Um, the Australian dollar currency index for somebody who likes to trade the Australian dollar, they can have the AXY. Me or I don't really know all the different indexes. I just, I have DXY permanently here because I'm always looking at that. Um, Last week, well, on Friday, GJ is my go-to and then GU, but I traded EJ a little bit, not on Friday though. Friday, it was just GJ and GU that I traded. And I'm not in anything right now. I know it says active trades. I'm not in anything right now. But um next thing I would say, figure out what you want to trade and stick to it. Don't be trading all different kinds of things. Find one or two pairs that you like, or just find one or two pairs, study it, then you can move on to another two or three, Um, when people starting, Euro USD and USD JPY are the most traded pairs. So maybe you want to start with that because you're gonna have a whole lot of movement. To trade in binary options, I never used to trade Great Britain pound pairs because I don't like how erratic it moves for me and binary options. But for trading traditional Forex, I love Great Britain pairs. I love that movement because the volatility is our friend. As traders, we want to see price moving, right? So I like it. So I decide that I want to trade the London session. So you want to decide on what pair you want to trade, and you want to ensure that if you're trading Great Britain pairs, that you're trading during the London session. If you're trading US pairs, you're trading during the New York session. Uh, yen pairs, you want to trade at night. Well, at night for me, during the Asian session, you know? Uh, that's what makes more sense. Does anybody have any questions?
Um, okay. Like I like USDT JPY, but it is
Mhm.
not on London session.
It's in the New
So
York session though,
yes.
and the New
So that
York
will be
is the same time. The New York session is when you're awake. So You're good. London session starts at 3 a.m. I want to say. Hold on. London session starts at 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 8 a.m. for you. But then the New York session starts 5 hours later. So 1 p.m. 1 p.m. is when the New York session starts. So you can trade UJ 1 p.m. and you have like
Okay.
hours. The markets, they overlap. It's like 8 hours, right?
Yeah. And when you were showing me that live chat
Mm-hmm.
during news, during the news, there was a strong impulsive movement, as in those that impulsive movement. Assuming I want to that I am like you say that whenever there's news, you
Mm-hmm.
do after the news, you trade along the the impulsive like I don't know, like you believe that the market will return to correct the impulsive movement.
Sometimes. So it's two different things that you can possibly do. Uh, when the news event happens, and not all of them gonna have something crazy happen, but when it does happen, you see the direction that it's going in, whether it's up or down, you see it. You don't get in right away. You wait, at least wait until one candle closes, at least, or one or two candles. And then you can decide, because there's always going to be a pullback. Now, so you can trade the retracement, the pullback, right? Or
Okay.
you can wait on the pullback to happen and trade the continuation.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, does it always have a continuation, or can it just go back up and keep going up? That can happen too, right? So just remember, the market is in charge. You just, when it comes to trading with the news, I don't advise it for a relatively new trader, but me playing around, that's what I have been able to come up with for myself. Will it always work? No. So when I'm doing that too, whatever lot size I typically trade on, I reduce my lot size because it's
Okay.
gonna move a lot. So I reduce my lot size, so I'm still gonna make my money.
Yes.
And don't
Okay.
be afraid to close out the trade if it's going against you with loss. Don't be afraid. Just close it out, you know? Because if you sit down waiting for it to go back how you wanted it, you may be in for a rude awakening. You don't want
Yes.
that. Okay. But
Yes.
okay. So it is 4:01. I'm gonna say goodbye to everybody out there in YouTube land. There are 4 people watching right now. Nobody had any questions. Okay. Feel free to go back and watch the replay for those of you that joined in a little bit later. Um, Anybody wanna ask me any questions? My DMs are open, and yeah, like my video, because I only see 2 likes on the video. Please hit the like button on my video. Thank you. Feel free to share, comment if there's anything that I said that you don't necessarily agree with. That's fine. Put it in there. Let's have a discussion. I'm looking to get to 1,000 subscribers. Help me out, guys. But that's going to be it for me on YouTube. Thank you so much for having been on with me.